Hi, I'm Nikki, and thank you for watching this video from my YouTube channel, Raised by Valaya. And thank you to my patrons Lynette Mahira and Evelyn Ducote for their support making this video happen. This is the third video of my Beauty Models series where I explain and paint a model I'm working on. Today's model is Brutogg, an ogre you have the chance to play as when I present Warhammer Quest Cursed City at Mechacon Omega from July 23rd through the 25th in New Orleans. So this is going to be the start of painting of this figure, Brutogg the Ogre. And what I'm thinking I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to do the skin as a dark skin, and I want to show kind of the technique I use for doing that. The cloth, a lot of the straps, we're going to go for the leather being a gore grunter fur, with the chainmail and metal reinforcing here being a lead belcher, and the weapons here too. And we're going to go for the shoulder plate here, the helmet here probably. We're going to do those in kind of a gold. So that's going to be the plan for this one. We're going to start off with the skin. And so for this dark colored skin that I'm going to go for, I'm going to go with Sigmar brown contrast. So I love it. It's a really dark brown, and it works really well for dark skin tones. You can probably also do wildwood too, because really what's the secret about doing a really dark skin is just going to be the shades that you do to help brighten it up a little bit. And I have a particular tick, I guess, about trying to find what's the right layer to do with that. And actually, this is going to sound very counterintuitive. When I do layering on this, we're going to be doing it in Deathcore drab. So we're going to go from a very, very dark brown, which is what this one is, and we're going to do a brownish green on top of it. That's what the Deathcore is going to be. And then on top of the Deathcore, if I want to go for a parade-ready look for this model, we're going to do Mechanicus Gray to represent the light washing out the dark brown. Let's see, so now we're going to go and do the neck here. The face is going to be interesting. I think I'll end up doing the face in a dry brush to start with, to really help make sure those details come out. So I'm doing the Sigmar brown first because when I get to the gore grunter, which is going to be a lot of the area around the rest of the body, it's not going to overcome the Sigmar brown in color. So I can just be less precise with it, which I'm always looking for a good reason to be less precise with my paints. I really hate being super precise sometimes. I'm thankful for contrast in that I can be a little bit more precise with them. They come off brushes easy. And that's really helpful. Let's see here. So this is the face here, and I'm just going to keep the camera going right now as I go through the rest of it. There's not actually a lot of exposed skin on this model here. So that's going to make this really super quick to get through in the couple of minutes that I have here. There'll be a little bit of time, of course, that I'll have to cut away for it to be able to dry totally, but you can kind of see the entire painting of the skin here right now. Now, I don't know. Have your opinions of me, I guess, if you want. I wanted to have a diverse cast of characters for this army force, and I was trying to think about what colors I want to go for each one of them in terms of their skin tones and what their bodies can help with. Like, I'm thinking Octrin Glimscry, the wizard of the party. He's probably going to get this same kind of color, if not maybe a lighter, darker skin tone, a lighter dark skin tone. Maybe a wildwood with that one. Imelda Braskov. I want to do in kind of a East Asian skin tone color. I haven't had a lot of practice doing that kind of skin tone of a color, and so I'm busy trying to figure out what paints can best achieve that look. In the Slaanesh book, there was actually one skin tone. It was kind of an orangish skin tone, but it definitely gave me that kind of a feeling of an East Asian feel to it, and I wanted to kind of experiment with that, especially with Imelda. It's very possible to do that. She has a good haircut to kind of show that diversity and makes it stand out better, because let's see, Brutogg's coming out looking nice on the arms there. That's Sigmar Brown showing off those details. Let's see, so now we got his hands coming up. Let's see. I could also probably do the cleric in a darker skin tone as well. We'll see what I do with those. I'm going to try and make her a reddish skin tone, and the Gorg Runner is going to be good for that, and then you can lighten that up. And I've got a couple of characters that I kind of want to do that, kind of give this kind of native feel to it. This, let's see, and there's also a archer, an elven archer, that I think I'm going to try and do that reddish tone with too. That'll be kind of cool. But try to hit a variety of skin tones for these characters here. Now, Brutogg is going to be a tanky character of the party. Imelda Braskov is supposed to be kind of too. He's on the largest base of the rest of the party. He's going to have the more health than everyone. He's going to be definitely your classic tank. A big bruiser, a big damage dealer. Maybe not as good as a character like Jelson, but he's going to be able to get stuck in a fight and be able to survive better than others. All right, now I got this hand here in this gloved device of a weapon. It's a really gnarly looking weapon right here. Let's see. Make sure I'm getting this right in the camera. Okay. Here. I'm trying to, let's see. Give me a second. I need to make sure if I'm seeing something right in the hand. The lighting is actually not that great for me. See. Okay, so I'm going to make a call here, and even if this is not quite right with the model, I'm going to make this the color of the rest of the arm here. Close this arm up a little bit. Let's see. Put this in here. That probably could have been a glove, I'm sure. Alright, and then we have, let's see, This one's going to be a tough one to do here to get a look-see. Alright. I almost could probably get away with this not being brown, but you know what? I think this will look kind of good as a brown. And honestly, I think the best part too about the Gorg Runner sometimes is that it's going to blend in really well with this color too. So even if there's a little bit of a overlap with them, I think it's going to go good. Now I'll probably clean this part up once when I get a chance to, but here we go now. The very last bits of the arm right here. Then we'll be done. Take a brief break as I let this dry. And then we'll get to the Gorg Runner for the leather strap area. So I love the most about this model is that there's so much detail on it, but it's really easy to just kind of hit all that detail in one swipe. And so the model does way more work looking better than you need to do for it. Okay, so here's our face. Let's see, it looks like we've got a little bit of this piece of this hand here that we need to do. All right, so we're going to go ahead and let this dry for a little bit, then we'll come back and we're going to go ahead and put some reddish brown for the leather. Okay, so we have this one nice and dry, and actually I just got a bit of a weird idea, but I want to give this a shot. We're not going to do the leather part in as much Gorg Runner as I would have wanted to do it in, because I'm going to do some things like these straps actually, and I think I'm going to aim for Dark Oath flesh to try and give them kind of this pale leathery look. So we'll go with the boots, except for the straps along the boots. We're going to do the boots in Gorg Runner. We're going to do these arm things here also. These looks like reinforced bands. We're going to do those in the Gorg Runner too. That would make them look a little bit newer, a little bit more sturdy. But then we're going to do some really lighter look in Dark Oath flesh, and I think that'll be very interesting to do. So first I'm going to start at the bottom here with this boot, and try to get it. I need to get a little bit more of the Gorg Runner on my brush here. When the contrast first came out, they talked about it was one thick coat, and they're not really weren't kidding about that. You don't want to be too gentle with them. You can be a little bit extravagant in the amount that you put on, because you want to make sure that you got a lot that's going to be able to run in there and run into creases, run into crevices, and bring out definition. Because when you don't load it up as best as you can, you might get a little bit of streakiness, and that's not really what you want. Now you notice here on these boots here, I got maybe a little bit too much here in the crevices, and that's fine. You can clean that up. Yeah, that's looking good. And let's see, I want to get in between the bands here. I'm not going to be too concerned if I get a little bit on them. That's okay. But there we go. So this is going to be the Dark Oath flesh right here. Sure, try and blend those in a little bit better. That's going to look good. All right, now let's get to the other boot. Okay. Let's see, we got the band here, so I'm going to lay it on thick right here. There we go. That looks great. And especially with the Gorg Runner, you don't really want to be stingy with it. You can put a lot on your brush here. Now I'm using the STC medium base because, again, I'm not so much of a fan of how to work the shade brushes, and that's just a personal thing with me. I won't be shy about using them maybe in the future, but definitely my comfort level right now, not quite my thing. Now look at that. That's a nice leather on that boot there. Real nice dirty looking boot. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's continue on with the rest. I will do the rest of the pant leg here also in that. I think that's going to look good because I want the dark oath flesh to contrast against what's with it. Let's see, get the Gorg Runner on my brush. The only thing really is just that I need to go back constantly to put it on here. And now here we go. That looks nice. If I need to do a bit of a cleanup, that's fine too. Doesn't look like it's going to be too much though, thankfully. Let's see this here. There we go. So I'm not actually worried about getting it on this knee pad here because that's going to be in a thicker air paint. Let's see, now we got actually the knee pad is entirely underneath the pant leg here, so that's going to be all Gorg Runner. Okay, and putting it on nice and thick here. One thick coat, as they said in the advertisements. There we go. That's looking good. Yeah, that's looking nice. Okay. So now we're going to do the bands on the arms. Make sure I load up my brush. And see, and this is what I was talking about with that detail that does a lot of work for you. These three bands here can just get one swipe of the Gorg Runner. And I don't need to worry about doing it really individually. It's just the whole thing gets covered now. A lot of work done because of all the detail on this. Let me make sure I get this in the camera. I was dropping it a little low. I'm sorry for that, everyone. Let's see. Put that there. Look at that. And see, and now I can run the Gorg Runner because I got the Sigmar brown on top already. I can run the Gorg Runner over the top, and I'm not really worried about that affecting my color at all. So look at that. Blending in nice with each other. Let's see, I gotta get it in there now. Okay, so we're getting under the arm here. And see, I don't need to worry about it being on a chainmail. That's going to be in a silver as well. But yeah, it's all with these arms. It's all running in nice with each other. So I don't really need to worry. Let's see. I got this bit of white here that's right under the arm. Want to get that? There we go. And yeah, you can see those red straps stand out nice against the arm right there. I like that. Alright, so we got one more set of straps. I got them right over here on the arm. Holding the mace. This one I want to be a little bit careful with because I'm trying to get the other strap from the mace. That's going to be the Dark Oath flesh. Let's see here. Excellent. Let's see. Good. I'm not too worried about it being a little off on the underarm, but I don't want to be crazy about it, you know? I still want this thing to look nice. Okay. So we got the rest of this here. All right. I think we're good and done for that part. Gonna let this dry for a couple of minutes, and then when we come back, we'll go ahead and we'll do that Dark Oath flesh. And we are back. So now we're gonna go, I got Dark Oath flesh contrast. We're gonna put this over the straps here. It's gonna turn into a really, really pale brown when it dries. It's meant to be a skin tone that's for kind of a tannish skin, but you can also have a bit of a pale look to it as well. It'll be really, really dark in the creases and really light at the top. And that's really what I'm looking for with this. Take a look at that. Okay, let me get a little bit more. Let's go ahead and we're going to do the belt here. And I don't have to be too careful with this because I'm going to be using a good silver paint over this armored area here, so I'm not too worried about being right on the line with this. A nice looking pale leather look to it. I love that. Okay. Also, at least a good thing with this too is if I go over the tops of the Gorgrunner with this, it's not going to stand out again. It's building my way up to the lightest parts. Whereas with oil paints, you always went from dark to light. Here, you can kind of also do some dark to light. You can do light to dark as well with the contrast too, especially if you got a lot of really fine detail with the lights and broader areas with the darks. You can do that. That looks really, really good. Let's see. Let's see now. And so yeah, what I'm doing here with this is since we have these reinforcing plates on his skirt here, I want to make sure that the leather underneath those plates is brown. I can always go back over the plates, no problem. I want to hit that leather though. And that's definitely an example of you're working up from light to dark in that case. That looks pretty good. Let's see. All right, now for the back here. Always too, I ask you forgive me for my voice. I have done hardly any voice training, so I'm still trying to work about that with myself. So thank you all for your patience. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's continue on with them. It's actually nice sometimes that these contrasts, they really do make the painting a lot quicker. And I appreciate that about them. A lot more of the time's going to be dealing with the metal, and honestly, metal is not really a... Here we go. Try and put this over the top. You're going to notice that they're going to blend in pretty well. So it's not actually going to stand out that much from the rest of everything here. But anyway, metal's never really been a hard thing for me to work with. I've been actually really, really okay with it. I hope it comes out a little bit better than what it looks right there. We'll see. I like the way a lot of the rest of it looks. Alright, now let's do these straps down here. There. And yeah, these are really going to stand out, at least from the Gorg Runner parts. Which is good. That's exactly what I was aiming for. That right there. Underneath the leg. Okay. Strap here, then we're going to move on to the fringe, and the fringe is going to be in Skeleton Horde. I'll work on this part a little bit more. I was not satisfied with the way this one came out. It's going to help a lot with this part here. It's going to be a good highlight on the edge of it here. We can work with a lot of this. Let's see. Right there. Oh, got a little part here hiding. Shrink at that. Oh, and we got some straps here on the pole of it itself too. Okay. Get that. See right back up. There goes a lot of it right there on the head of it. But that's going to get covered up real easy. That's going to look pretty good once when it dries, I think. As you can see right here already, we got this nice pale strap look to it, and that's really going to stand out once when we do the rest of this. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead, let's talk about doing that fringe that's down here, and that's going to be in Skeleton Horde now, so I'm going to do this. Actually, too, while I have this one, doing it this way, he's got some edging here. I'm going to do the edging also on the Dark Oath. Let's see, we got this here. Here. There we are. A little bit of the edge of the tunic underneath him showing out. I think that's good. All right. When we come back, we're going to go ahead and do this trim here in Skeleton Horde. In fact, when I go away now, I can do this probably right now. So, contrast Skeleton Horde here. Sticking with my medium base brush. Such a trusty, reliable point on it. It's really almost an it's an every job kind of brush. It really is. Okay, so here we go. We've got the Skeleton Horde. Let's go and give this nice fleeced fringe kind of look here. This nice hay color to it. The same thing, right? It doesn't matter if it goes over on the darker areas, because it's not going to really stand out on those. So what I want to make sure, though, is that I get the detail of the fringe in there. Might need to go back over it with a little bit of more of it. Let's see, we got here the fringe on the boot. Try to get a good amount on there. There we go. Now we can see the detail pop on this. Of course, too, once this is done, we're going to go ahead and tie everything together with a shade all over of Agrax Earthshade. Honestly, the Miracle Shade, it really does do a lot. Let's see, we got this fringe here, so we'll go ahead, cover this one. And make sure we get the fringe right here. So contrast isn't really digging into that part. Agrax is going to probably do a lot more work there. You can kind of see, right? We got these almost 3 colors of brown showing up now. Let's see. Do the rope around the neck over here too. Okay. Here we go. Around the neck we go. All right, perfect. Okay, it's going to leave us now with, go ahead, we'll do the silver parts next. I'm going to let this dry for a little bit, then we're going to hit the silver parts of this. So stay tuned. And we're back. So we got a lot going on over here right now. Next, we're going to go ahead, we're going to deal with these middle areas. And this is going to help make the model look a lot cleaner, as a lot of this overpainting that I have, it's going to get covered up by this lead belcher real quick. So I'm going to use the Citadel Air lead belcher, just because I love the air paints on a brush. They're pre-thinned, essentially, because to put them in an air painter, they need to be a little bit thinner than normal. And I've never felt comfortable with thinning my paints in water. Not that I have anything against it, I just felt like myself, talent-wise, my talent wasn't really good at thinning in water. So I found out the air paints act as pre-thinned paints, and I started buying into those. And they do exactly that kind of job. And I love them for this. Let's see, look at that. Comes off really smooth on the brush. Great for highlighting. You may have to go over once or twice with it, but that's okay. You know, where are you going, right? Okay, see that there. I can go back over areas that I feel like I've overbrushed a bit and be able to pull up paints for that. Chainmail is always an interesting one like this. Now, granted, too, I think a lot of work's going to be done when I go over this in Agrax Earthshade. Get really into those crevices. Let's see, got this plate here. See, I love metallics because I don't need to go back to the bottle every couple of brush strokes. They really stand out well with just the minimal amount of paint on them. So there we go. And yeah, right now it looks like it lost a little bit of detail, but that's just because we haven't hit it yet with the Miracle Agrax Earthshade. That's going to do a lot of work to bring out the detail of this chainmail. Even still, you can start seeing it now really coming out too. Look at that. Wow. Okay. And again, the best part is all the detail on the model does all the work for you to make it look nice. Let's see. Knee pad. Here. It's probably going to end up being my longest painting video as I just keep it on and talking. I hope you folks are enjoying watching this as I am enjoying painting this. I've been wanting to paint Brutogg for a very long time. Like I said, he was my favorite one. I like tanky characters, which is so weird. Years ago, I was actually playing the Warhammer Fantasy MMO Age of Reckoning, and there were two archetypes I played. I played Tank, and in that game I played Empire or Chaos a lot. And so the Empire tank was the great sword for the Empire. Chaos's was the Chaos Chosen, which, by the way, gave me a warped expectation of what Chaos Chosen are. Because once when I started playing Warhammer Fantasy, or in the case, it turned into Age of Sigmar by the time I got into it. The way I remembered them, playing them in a game, versus what they were on the tabletop, even just in look on the tabletop, totally different than my expectations. Totally different. Let's see. Look at all this. See, this is looking good now. Relatively good, anyway. Okay, next. Should I get this belt buckle? Get the belt buckle in here. Get the belt end here. Okay. Got some chain here to hit. And see, now I just got some metal on that part. I don't think it's going to stand out too much, That's just kind of a disappointment to me, though, on that. Alright. Gotta work it. Okay. See, now we're at this shoulder here. The helmet's gonna get a lot more gold than it's gonna get this. I certainly hope all of you enjoy actually watching these videos. I certainly at least enjoy trying to share some of the painting tricks I have picked up. Are they the most elaborate tricks? Not really. Are they the secrets to winning a golden demon? No. Even I don't have that skill yet. But I hope at least watching this, and this is honestly my goal of doing these, is I don't want people to feel intimidated with painting. Dirty secret, dark secret of mine. I actually enjoy the painting the least, honestly, of the hobby. It's probably sacrilegious of me to say something like that, but the painting I enjoy the least. Let's see what we got. The reinforced paneling here. Definitely in this situation, the Agrax Earthshade is really going to do a lot of work. Because what's going to happen now is that this is going to kind of look all the same. It's not really going to be that differentiated. But you get that shading on it that's going to bring out the details so much better. Because it's actually going to put in dark lines where you need them. Get that there. Alright, and then we're going to do, let's see, it looks like that I got the chainmail done. That looks not bad, honestly. But chainmail done. Well, let's go for the weapons. Okay, you got this nasty looking punching dagger here. Let's see. I do not want to be on the bad end of this weapon, that's for sure. I was actually very excited when Brutogg came out, and they had the original rules for him for Age of Sigmar, and he counted as an ogre and a City of Sigmar's figure, and I thought that was the best, just because I love the lore of the ogres being willing to be mercenaries and go between any force. And that's a kind of a weird thing, honestly, when you think about the forces of the Destruction Alliance in Age of Sigmar. it has a lot of people that they're willing to just work for whoever's going to give them a fight, get them in a fight. I haven't seen a lot of yet of orc mercenaries, but there's definitely a history of ogre mercenaries with the man-eaters. And of course, there's the mercenaries of the Sons of Behemoth. And you can bring a Son of Behemoth in to any Grand Alliance you want as well. And so that's kind of cool, is that like you have this thread with the forces of destruction that, yeah, they honestly don't care who's going to win and lose. They just want to fight. And I think that makes them really unique in that perspective. In that they can pick up a lot of icons and culture and flashes to them that if you're making a destruction army and they all look the same, you're doing it wrong. Destruction is anywhere. Hi everyone, and so we're back. It looks like my phone decided to have a moment of stopping listening to me, and I had to go and recharge it for a long time. I ended up finishing off most of the silver metal bits, so this is where we're at with him now. Now we're going to go and hit the gold, and the gold is going to end up being just the helmet and the little shoulder here. And then we got some colors that we're going to add onto the back right over here for these different tabards and weapons. But they're not really a central piece of what this model is all about. But still, so for the gold, I'm going to be using Citadel's Air Valdor gold. It's not the most intense gold out there. There's actually one called Thalix Gold that's supposed to be the most intense in terms of, and most saturated in terms of hue. And I don't have that one right now, but Valdor is going to do just fine, I think. Let's see. So here we go. This one's going to probably need a couple of coats on it, I think. There. Trying to be a little bit careful around the head here. Also need to probably put a rattle ball in the paint right here. Let's see. Around here. Good. Definitely going to need at least 2 coats on this one. Let's see. Get that rattle ball in here if I can find where I put those things. Aha. Bloop. Now we're in a bit of better business here. There we go. That looks much, much better. Okay, so And we're looking at right down here. Okay, now let's do that shoulder blade. Let's see the shoulder armor right here. Now for probably actually this gold and this metal part, I happen to have a shade that's meant to be a bronze, and I think on these parts this will go really good. I want to try that. We'll do Agrex Earthshade over the non-metallic parts, and then I'm going to get this metallic shade I have and put it over the metals, and I think that's going to give this metals a nice over the top brown look to them. It's going to make them really blend in together well, make them a little bit less distracting and pulling in more together with the rest of the model. That is a nice looking gold we got already on this guy. Nice looking gold. Let's see, what else? We'll go ahead and put some gold on the metallic bits on the back here. Let's see. So we got gold on the end here. Gold here. And go ahead and put it here on the hilts and on the ends here. So when we get to the browns, and see, this will just get Agrex Earthshade all over it. I'm not really too worried about this part here. This looks good. Alright, so I'm going to go and do probably about a second coat on top of this one, and I'm going to do the rest of the back of this right here. And I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll come on back, and then we'll hit the shade. Stay tuned. And we are done. Look at this. This looks really good. The back, perhaps not the best, but I think I can live with that. And you know, that's also important too, is what are you willing to live with, honestly, for some of the work that you do with this. All right. Now here comes the fun part, the shading. So, let's see. I'm going to use for the metal this Cryptek Armor Shade. It's meant to be kind of a glossy metallic brown. It's going to go really good over the golds, make them a bit more bronze. Look at that, wow. Really dirty them up and age them nice. Look at the detail on that face coming out there. That looks amazing. Look at that. This is a mean shoulder here, isn't this? Wow. That is so good. Okay. So now let's go add that to the helmet. Let's see. Here we go. And like I said, don't need to be afraid to go a bit heavy on this. You can always see it pooling. Take it and pick it right up, and then you can go bring it somewhere else. Here. Let's see, make sure that I get it in there, and those creases there. There we go. Nice, definitely dirty looking helmet here. It's settling in nice. Make sure we get this on this horn here. Deep, deep bronze color. Alright, so now this is going to be the fun part. Get it on the chainmail. Okay, this is going to really, really dirty this up. Bring out those holes in it. Give that chain so much more definition. Look at that. You honestly can't go wrong, really, shading chainmail. And you can see the difference there. Okay. I think these panels here I will leave for Agrax Earthshade, though. But let's get the rest of it here on him. Got that. Got this. It's really looking nice and standing out on him. What's that quote from Big Lebowski? It really ties the room together, dude. It really ties it all together. There we go. Down here. Wonderful. So you got a little bit of chain that peeks out from there. Alright, now let's do the weapons. Okay, this deadly looking thing, here we go. And look at that detail pop on it now. Wow. Okay, let's go and do this mace. Here we go. God, looks so aged and bronzed and well used. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to go and hit that Agrax Earthshade now for everything else. So, getting my Agrax, shaking it and cleaning off my brush. And everything I've done here too, it's been with this medium STC brush. Let's look at the point preservation on this. It's still pretty good. It's got this little part here that's coming off, but honestly, you can still get it back in a good shape with that. If you take good care of your brushes, it's going to stick a while. My recommendations, and this is what I used with non-synthetic brushes, is I'll use hair conditioner on them to help form them back into their tip, and I do that with this one too. Let's see, getting this part with Agrax Earthshade. I'm not going to be shy about using that either. Just want to make sure I get these details proper. Let's see, I got this knee pad down here. This one looks pretty good here. I got these pants, these here, here. I'm honestly not afraid to have a little bit of this pooling going on here with it. I think it gives this a nice grungy look to it that really helps with, well, what this game is about and what this setting is about, right? A band of heroes going into a city that has been overrun by a vampire. It's Resident Evil for Warhammer Fantasy, right? So why not kind of get that look going for it? Okay, on the back side here, let's go do this. You can see that detail just really stand out on the skirt here. Love this stuff. Okay, load up some more. Bring it on down. See, it's kind of getting into here now, which good. It's bringing out some detail here, these pants that he's got on. That's looking good. So I probably actually don't need to put it in on the bottom over here. This pooled enough to where it don't think it needs that bit of extra oomph to it. Okay. Now we're going to shade these belts here. Give a little bit more to them. Shade this belt here. Okay. Shade these armbands. A little bit more definition to these. Look at that. Wow. Shade this belt. This here. These there. Nice. Looking good. Alright. Let's get to the face and the chest. The arms. Okay. Gonna do shading in the face. Get the neck here. I know I'm gonna have pooling in the face. I'm gonna get that out and move it over to this hand here. There we go. Some of that detail on the face popping out now. Put some here. Alright. Let's get to the back. We got this backpack and all this stuff here. And we're just going to do a nice drag over the whole thing. And make those details really stand out. Go. Okay. This on this. All I got left is this arm. Okay. There we go. Over here on the back side. Sure we get the whole thing. And here's his arms, his fingers. And he is looking good. So put a little bit more down in there. Here he is, and we're going to do one extra step. I can call it done for him right now, but I want to bring out the details more in the face and some of the fingers, so we're actually going to do some highlighting and some layering with those. And I'll show you how to do that with darker skin tones after this guy dries off. Be back and talk to you all soon. And here we are back. Honestly, if I wanted to leave it right now, I probably could. You can see some of the definition in the arms. You can see a little bit in the face, but we can do a lot better with the face. So I'm going to take this Death Core drab, and I'm going to use a different brush this time. I want a little bit more control. I'm going to go with an STC small layer brush. Well, there we go. Look at that point on it. Primarily what I want from this is I want to be able to bring out some of the highlights in the face. So we're going to go with, let's see, make sure we got a good, got a dot on the nose. A little bit here on the gum line, oh, just above, just below, there we go. Okay, and we got these cheeks here, there, there. We got the chin too, down here. There we go. I brought out some detail in that face. Let's see, we can try and go up here on the eyebrow. That's a lot better. Okay. On the fingers here. Okay. We got some of the muscles here on the arm. Really bring them out a little bit, make them just pop a little bit more. We don't need to overdo it on this step. Let's see. In the case of this, a little's actually going to go a long way in this layering process. Because it's a brown green, I don't want to turn the skin actually green. I just want to draw attention to what would be lighter layers where the light would hit his body properly. Bring out the muscles in him. And he has some muscles on him. A little bit underneath here in the neck. There we go. So now we can see a little bit more of the face. We can do one more highlight. And this one's going to be in Mechanicus Standard Gray. Let's see, where did I put that? Give me a couple of seconds, I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back with some Mechanicus Standard Gray. So again, we're going to try and bring a little bit more definition to the highest parts of the body. Sticking with my small layer brush. This one's going to be easy. First of all, in the face here, we're going to go with the very peak of the nose. We can probably do also these here. There we go. These cheeks. And his face really stands out now. Very bottom here. There we go. All right. Now, the knuckles. Same thing, just at the spot where they would be the most stressed. on the muscles, the very top of them. All right. I think we're honestly good to go. Need to do a little white on the teeth. Let's go ahead and let's take care of that now too. Let's see. I want something in the color of Carrick stone. Where is my Carrick stone at? So I'm gonna go look for that. I'll be right back. Okay, I found my color. So we're going to go ahead and do these teeth here. We don't need to do the most intense work on them. We just want to set them apart. So I'm going to start with first a color called Carrick stone. And let's see, using my small layer brush again. Get it onto the teeth. Okay, that's a start. And of course we can lighten that up too. Let's see what other colors I can bring to that. I want a little bit of Kislev flesh. Can go with that, or even my wraith bone. I think we'll bring back the wraith bone for that. Okay, and just a wraith bone base. And let's see. And there, oh, there we go. Now we got those teeth standing out. Ah! That was a mistake. That definitely happened. We can't be perfect. Honestly, it doesn't stand out the worst. But I can do better to fix it. Let's see. Here, I can definitely hit that with some Agrax Earthshade. Bring that tone down. But I think with there, I'm going to probably add a little bit on the eyes, and we'll come back and we'll see whether or not if I can fix what happened with the mouth here, and then take a look at the final product. Stay tuned. And I think he is done and ready to make his appearance in Mechacon. Here he is, the ogre Brutogg the Corpse-Eater. I think the name says it all. See you at Mechacon. Bye.